All right, welcome back to another division video. Basically, all this is going to be, I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, explain a few things. I'm just doing this video to see if anybody else is having the same problem. So, I usually play on Xbox. I do have a PS4 Pro, so I wanted to get in a division for that so I can play it in 4K, see if there's a difference with the leveling system, all that shit. Plus, I love the game, yada yada. So, what I did, you get so much gear in this game that I went from level 30 to 256 like nothing. This build is not min-max. It's not perfect. It's pretty good. Armor could be higher in certain areas, obviously, and some of the rolls could be higher, obviously. But anyway, crit chance on the. I got Savage gloves. I have a reckless chest piece. Crit chance on the holster. Do not have crit chance on the mask, even though I would prefer that. And all I was doing this build for PvP. I stopped using Alpha Bridge, I think, with 1.5 drop, or in 1.4, I want to say. At 1.4, I'm pretty sure that's when I stopped using Alpha Bridge and I switched to other stuff just to try to use it. Maybe 1.5, I can't fucking remember, my memory's bad. Anyway, point being, I haven't used Alpha Bridge for a while. And then recently, I believe it was 1.6. Maybe 1.5, wherever it was, they switched and reworked Alpha Bridge because it was, the best thing to use. And what they did is they changed it so that you get the 3 talents from your primary. When you have the same weapon with the 4-piece, basically, man, let me just go to this and actually read it so I'm not messing it up. I have to actually switch this too. So we have our Alpha Bridge, right? We have 2-piece set bonus, 100% health regen. 3-piece is 5% weapon damage, which I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do. I don't know, 3 Alpha Bridge and probably 3 Predator, or do 3 Predator and 3 Banshee or something like that in that area. Anyway, 4-piece set bonus is if your primary and secondary weapon is of the same category, they share the free talent, which makes sense. That's how it was before, except you got all 6, but they changed it to just the 1, and now they changed it so all talent requirements are ignored for all weapon talents. Meaning, if you need a high electronics on something or whatever, you don't need it as long as you got the 4-piece set bonus on. So basically, what's happening is I have my primary, brutal, deadly, responsive, and then my secondary, I have deadly, responsive, unforgiving. So if I go to these, I have a lightweight M4, a G36, because I haven't used the G36 in a while, and the roll wasn't bad, so I figured I'd try it, and I actually like it. I was using the G36 when it first came out. First it came out, it was OP, and they nerfed it, but I still like it. I don't know why the DPS is so drastically different, but anyway, we have the lightweight M4, responsive, deadly, brutal in the 3rd slot for a reason. So if I switch it, there's different. Instead of reloading, I can just swap weapons. That's why I set it up like that. So anyway, we have responsive, deadly, brutal, and then unforgiving in the 3rd slot of my G36. And if I actually switch to my G36, I have deadly, responsive, unforgiving, and brutal. So the talents aren't overlapping or nothing like that. I have different ones. Yeah, so I did it the way that makes sense that normal people should do it. But the issue I'm having after that rant and all that stuff, if you're still with me, the issue that I'm having is, for some reason, right now, say we're on our M4, we have responsive, deadly, brutal, unforgiving in the 3rd slot. What's happening, and I don't know if this is happening to everybody else, like I said, I haven't used Alpha Bridge in a while, but what's happening is I'm actually losing 10% damage. So we have unforgiving, missing health segments increase your damage. 1 missing segment, 10%. 2 missing segments, 25%. 3 segments means you're dead, so it's not going to matter. Yeah. So what's happening is, if I lose a segment, I actually lose 10% damage on my primary, but I gain that 10% to my secondary. Of course, that sounds crazy and makes no sense, right? And yeah, it just makes absolutely no sense. So what I'm assuming is, if I'm using my secondary, my Brutal's not even active, I'm assuming, because it just don't make sense. I would think I do 10% less damage with, or I would do 12% less headshot damage with the G36. So we're gonna go pick a fight real quick. Go Chariots. Anyway, there's an open world boss over here. I just killed the one here, but I saw it and I figured I should do a video. So there's an open world boss over here. We're gonna run that open world boss, and I'm gonna try to actually show you so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And like I said, I'll explain it one more time so we know what's going on. Yo, this shit looks amazing on what you call it, 4K shit. Shit looks amazing. All right, so we got assholes right here. Open world boss around the corner, but I want them to shoot me. There's people up the street too, and JTF running away. They don't even come help. So what I'm trying to do is let him get back below a segment, right? So now we're gonna try to hopefully run and hide. Hopefully they let me, because these are the smartest NPCs I've ever seen in a game, where they'll actually chase me down the street and all that shit. And there you go, chasing me down the damn street. So we losing one segment, and as you can see on my primary, I lost 10% DPS. But if I go to my secondary, I gain DPS. So now we're gonna run down the street again because they're shooting the shit out of me. And the goal is I want them to actually get me down. My primary is at 431. Come on. All right. Hey, I want you to lose damage. I mean, lose, but I want to actually die. I told these motherfuckers, 2 segments. I can lose 2 segments, not 3. All right, so now that we're down the street, my normal primary DPS is 431, right? Now let's go to it. It's 335. But if I go to my G36, it's 469. And these assholes are a little too close. Saw light of red, so I thought somebody was behind me. But once again, now I have 2 segments. My normal DPS for my primary is 431. It's at 393. So I'm saying 10% just to say 10% because I have no other percentage to actually call it. But I would assume what's happening, for some reason, I have unequipped this. I have re-equipped it. I have switched it out. I have took the mods off before I did the loadout, and then I did the loadout just to save it. So I have my loadout for the Alpha Bridge. As you can see, my primary, I have responsive, deadly, brutal in the 3rd slot, and on my secondary, unforgiven is in the 3rd slot. For some reason, when I'm taking damage, I'm actually losing damage on my primary. And I'm trying to see if anybody else is actually having this problem, because I mean, like I say, I usually play on Xbox. I have like almost I think 100 days played, which is a whole lot of fucking hours. But so I have a lot of time invested in this game. I love the game and everything. And actually, as you can see, this is on PlayStation. I did that by mistake. But on PlayStation, and now I gotta fuck, my battery's about to die. But anyway, so my whole thing is this wasn't like this in 1.6, but since they did 1.6.1, this started happening. And as you can see right now, I'm still in 2 segments because I'm probably still in combat. I am, but if I hit, that's a regular overdose. You can see it's a regular overdose. It's not a booster shot or anything. I'm just at full health, right? My normal DPS is 431. So we're gonna try this one more time. Keep that in mind. I just want this to be perfectly clear, so if somebody leaves comments, I mean, they have a clear understanding of what's going on and the issue I'm having. And maybe people are having the same problem, maybe they're not, I don't know. But primary DPS is 431. I was doing this build for a PvP, that's why I set up like this. And the goal was just to output as much damage as possible, and have this be the DPS build. So yeah, so Reckless chest piece, Savage gloves. I've even switched those out just to see if it was a bug with each individual piece, and I don't know. So once again, for the last time, I know I said it a lot of times, but primary, responsive, deadly, brutal 3rd slot, G36 is our secondary. We have responsive deadly, and then unforgiving our third slot. What's happening is if I'm shooting someone, or if I have my primary on me and I'm shooting somebody and I'm taking damage, whatever the situation is, if I drop below a segment, if I lose one segment, my damage is supposed to go up 10%, but it's going down 10%. If I get shot and lose two segments, it's actually going down, what is it, 20%? What the hell is what you call it? Unforgiven. 25%, there you go. I'm actually losing 25% damage. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that so everybody's on the same page. We know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it again because that open world boss is actually in the alleyway around the corner. So for some reason, on my primary, I have Unforgiven unlocked on my second weapon for my secondary. And instead of me increasing my damage by 10% when I lose one segment, I'm actually losing. So there's some kind of bug, there's something going on. I'm actually losing damage. And this just started happening in 1.6.1. I know I've said this enough times, but I just want to make sure everybody's clear, everybody's on the same page, and nobody leaves a comment about something crazy that don't even apply to this situation. But what I'm doing is I'm actually losing damage on my primary, but I'm gaining it on my secondary, which doesn't make sense because if I'm shooting somebody with one, say, I'm shooting somebody, I would have to switch weapons in order to benefit from Unforgiven. I mean, Alpha Bridge wasn't like that before. You just got all 6 talents on one gun. In this situation, it should be all 4 talents on one gun. Instead of having 3 talents active, you have 4 talents active. Now you have 3 talents active, but the 4th talent only applies to your the secondary. I don't understand this shit. So anyway, one more time, just so we're all on the same page. 431 primary DPS on my M4. G36 is at 384. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm out of combat. So I am at full health right now, not missing any kind of segments whatsoever. What we're gonna do, like I said, right up the street in the alleyway to our left, there's an open world boss over there. So we're gonna go to him. I'm gonna take damage. We're gonna check it out again, just so everybody can see it and see maybe if it's something I'm doing, which it can't be nothing I'm doing. I mean, I play this game, like I said, a lot. And what I'm trying to actually figure out is if somebody else, excuse me, if somebody else is having this problem or what. So they're way down there, so I want them to shoot me so they're not right up on me. All right. So I'm gonna let them actually damage me. I should be right by this corner right here. I'm gonna let them damage me, and then I'm actually gonna check it and actually see. We're actually gonna just let them get me. All right, there we go. We don't want to die in the process though. As you can see, my primary, I'm gonna click on it. Primary DPS dropped to 335 from 431, and my secondary was at 384, is at 469. So why is Unforgiving only applying, and why would it take away damage anyway? I mean, this is not something I'm making up. You can actually see, and I'm doing it like this so I can actually see them creeping up right there. They think I'm stupid. They know I'm talking to y'all and they trying to creep up. But anyway, like I said, Unforgiven, missing 2 segments, should give me 25%. It's making me lose 25% on my primary, but gaining it on my secondary. And I have no idea why it's doing that. And I have, I think, health on kill on my mask. So my DPS went up on my primary, but you can see it went down on my secondary because 2 segments missing, right? This damn G36. And now my health is going back up. We're gonna check it one last time so we can see this. It's at 423, but that's because it's not including the crit chance that I have on my mods. Now it's up to 431, and that's what it normally is. So somebody please help me understand what the hell is going on, because I'm about to trash this whole damn build. I mean, I was gonna try it, but when this started happening, I didn't go back and last stand with it because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm shooting somebody, then I'm gonna have to switch to my secondary. But if it's subtracting my third slot from my primary, if it's like, it's basically subtracting, it's using my third slot against me. So when my third slot on my secondary is active, when my free talent on my secondary is active, I'm actually losing it on my primary. So I would assume if I'm using my secondary, then I'm losing the bonus of the free slot from my primary. So on my primary, I have Brutal in the third slot. So when I'm using my secondary, I'm assuming I'm losing 12% headshot damage. I'm just assuming that because that's the only thing that can make sense. I don't know. I mean, it's the Midas. I think you lose damage or something like that. You do look certain less damage. The target does less damage, but you do less damage or something stupid like that. So basically, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't really understand how this even makes sense. Basically, I don't understand how this makes sense. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to leave a comment, suggestions, all that good stuff. Share the video, tell people about the video. This is not just for views. I just haven't seen anybody on YouTube cover this, and it wasn't doing this in 1.6, but after the update 1.6.1, I started doing it, and for some reason I was doing less damage, and I was confused. So I actually checked it at one point, and then I saw it was set up different. It took me a while to actually realize I was actually losing my third slot on my primary. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, all that good shit. I do have other videos I'm gonna be uploading very soon, build videos for 1.6.1, things like that. I have a crazy Predator PvP build that's phenomenal. So I'm gonna go over that build and gameplay and all that good stuff. So like I said, pass along the video, tell people about it. If you have any ideas, please leave comments. And other than that, everybody be safe, have a good one. Thanks for checking out